All right, so today in class we were solving radicals, and the students expressed to me that they didn't know how to input it in the calculator. So I'm going to do a couple of examples and put them in the calculator. And after I show them how to do them in the calculator, I'm going to show them how to do them by hand because I think that's equally as important. So let's jump right into it. So we're going to have 1 square root x equals 3. For number 2, we're going to have square root y minus 6 equals 2. And then for the third one, we're going to have square root x squared plus 3 equals x plus 1. All right, and then you got to tell me what x is. Okay, so we're going to use the trusty calculator here. So where it says y equals right there, you hit that. So, and then you see I have all this clutter right here. So I'm going to clear it. So I'm going to hit the clear button right there. And then for the first one, I'm going to put square root x for y0. So to get that, you're going to hit second. And then you're going to hit x squared. And you're in the square root mode. And you're going to hit x, which it's right here with those weird letters. Let's hit that. And then you finish with that. And now where it says equal here, where it says y equals, you would just tap it on your phone there and it's blinking and you just hit 3. And then you hit second function. And then where it says graph, you hit graph. And then you have that table right there. And then if you scroll down, you see wherever y equals 3, that will be your x. That's what x is. So let's keep scrolling down until you see both y's are 3. So both y0 and y1 has to be 3. And which so it's 3, 3. So your x right there will be 9. So number 1, it's x equals 9. Okay? Because the reason why it's equal 9, because that x is equal 9 right there. Okay, because these are your y values. All right, let's go to number 2. So do the same thing with number 2. So you hit y equals. And we cleared the last equation, so we cleared that. And then you tap your phone to the 3 and you clear that. I'll go back to the first one. And for number 2, you're going to hit square root y minus 6. So you're going to hit second function and x squared. And then I don't worry about the letters here. I use x for everything because it's just one variable you got to worry about. So I'm going to type x, which is this weird combination right there, minus 6. So minus 6. Oops, let me go back. Delete that. 6. Now, if you make a mistake, I hit the delete button right there, just in case. All right, so that's my first part right there. So I'm done with that. Now I go down to y1 equals, and then you press 2. And let's see if this works. And then again, second function. Hit that button. And then make sure you say graph. Now, the reason why you hit second function, because you see these in the blue here. The second function is blue, so if you want to activate the blue, yeah, hit second function first. Same thing when you use alpha, and if you want to activate the green. Okay? So now we got to figure out where y is equal to, or x. So I'm going to scroll down, keep scrolling, keep scrolling. So you remember, you look for these two numbers have to be the same. So I'm assuming 2, I see 2, 2, 2, 2 all the way down. So I'm assuming this side is going to be 2. So, okay, that's it. So right there is going to be x will be 10 because it's 2, 2. And then right there where it says 10, where the x is 10, that's the answer. That is your, well, in this case is y, but replace y for x because it's easier to use. So y equals 10. Just remember on the regents, they want to usually they want you to show your work in the section, the second part. All right, so the last one here before I do them by hand, I'm gonna same thing. Just go back in your calculator, go to y equals right here. Click on that. Clear that first part. Clear the second part, and then go up and then type in second function. Click on that. X squared. And then I'm going to use x. Well, it's x. So I'm going to hit this x right there. To get to the square root, I use this because you use that for any number. So I hit that arrow. And if you notice, I'm in the power mode. So this is a power. So I'm going to hit 2. And then I'm still in power mode. To get out of that mode, you make sure you hit that arrow to the right. And then it says plus right there, so you go down to plus, hit plus, and then 3. Is that it? Yeah, that looks like that's it. And then now I'm done. Now I'll go to y1. So I hit my, scroll down to y1, or you can just tap it on your phone, and then hit x plus 1. So it's going to be that button right there. So it's going to be x plus 1. Now I got my 2. Now I want to look at the table to see where it matches. So I'm going to hit second function. So it's that second function right there. Then you hit graph. Then you get the table. So it looks to me, so I see y0, 2, 2. So my answer for that one, it's 1. So y equals 1. All right. So if you want to stick around, this is very important to know how to do it the long way. Because if you're taking a Regents, if they give it this year, they want to see it by hand. So it's getting late, so I want to get this done. Let's unclear this whole thing. All right, so number 1, let's square root x equals 3. Okay, now this is a square root. So I'm going to put this to the second power because second power will undo that square root. Because if you have a square root x times square root x will give you square root x squared. And since that's a perfect square, x will come out. So let's change the color. So I'm going to square the square root. And then since you do that to one side, you have to do it to another. Whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do it to the other. You have to do it to the other side. So now, square root x times square root x will leave you with just x equals, now 3 times 3, that's going to give you 9. And that's the answer. Now, with a lot of my students with the square root, now, why is it just x by itself? And the reason is when you have a square root x times the square root x, like I said before, it's equal to square root x squared. Isn't x squared a perfect square? Which will be x. That's why. All right. Let's move on to the second one. Let's clear. Sorry. Number 2. Soft red. So number 2 says square root y minus 6 equals 2. Again, underneath that square root, I'm gonna square it, because square undo square roots. So I'll change the color again so everybody can see that I made some type of change. So I'm gonna square that so I could get rid of that square root. Now if I square this side, what do I have to do to the other side? Exactly right. I have to square root that side. Now, I could go through the whole process, but if you want, talk to me through the chat, and I will do it the long way. If you really want to understand why the square root is gone. So now it's going to leave me with y minus 6 equals 4. Now what I do, because I need that y by itself, so since it's subtracting 4, I have to add 4. So I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to use, I don't know what color this is. Look like a beautiful color. So I'm going to add 4. I'm sorry, add 6, I mean. Ooh. So add 6 because the reason why you want to cancel that out. So if I'm adding 6, you add 6 to the other side, which is y equals 10. Because 6 plus 4 is 10. Now if you plug this back in, square root y is 10 minus 6 is equal to, because that's the original problem. 10 minus 6, that is 4, square root 4.